China pledged to become the global leader in electric vehicles. Yeah, that optimism just got rear-ended by reality. China's EV market is in freefall, with manufacturers on the brink and the dream of clean transportation turning into a financial nightmare. Many Chinese automaking companies are bleeding cash and facing bankruptcy. But what went wrong? Is the whole electric vehicle dream a mirage? Let's hit the brakes on the hype and take a deep dive into the reasons causing the crisis crippling China's EV industry. Number 4. Price Wars. China's electric vehicle EV market shot to the top, boasting the world's largest arena for EVs. But now, it's hitting a speed bump as consumers tighten their belts in the wake of an uncertain post-pandemic economy. With wallets closing, car makers are diving headfirst into a ruthless price war, slashing prices left and right to keep their sales afloat. But while these price cuts might seem like a steal for buyers, they're also driving down the value of EVs faster than a lead balloon. Suppose you buy a shiny new electric car, only to watch its worth plummet within months or even weeks. Ouch, right? And it's not just buyers feeling the sting. Behind the scenes, several EV companies are teetering on the brink of financial disaster. Take HiPhi, WM Motor, backed by Baidu and supported by Tencent. They've all hit a wall, running out of cash to keep the wheels turning. As a result, thousands of buyers are left stranded, unable to access vital after-sales and software maintenance services. Talk about a rocky road. Other players like Levdio and Seagull Motors have gone full-on bankruptcy mode. So, what's the big picture? China's EV industry is shifting gears, moving from pedal to the metal growth to a period of consolidation. Analysts are sounding the alarm, noting that while the annual sales of new energy cars, including EVs and plug-in hybrids, are still revving up, the growth rate is slowing down. In 2024, sales are expected to climb by 22%, hitting 11 million vehicles. Sounds impressive, right? Well, not quite. It's a far cry from the glory days when EV sales surged by 36% in 2023 and a whopping 90% in 2022. The government pumped the brakes on purchase subsidies at the end of 2022, throwing a wrench into the works. Moreover, car makers are throwing punches left and right, slashing prices like there's no tomorrow, all to grab a slice of that limited growth space. Take BYD, for example, the big cheese in China's car scene. In 2023, they sold 2.4 million cars, and even they aren't immune to the price-slashing frenzy. Since February, BYD has been playing hardball, dropping prices on almost all their models. They even rolled out a plug-in hybrid for a steal at 79,800 yuan, shouting from the rooftops, "Batteries are cheaper than engines." And it's not just BYD in the ring. Over 10 other EV brands are throwing punches of their own, chopping prices left, right, and center. Even Tesla, the big shot in the EV world, jumped on the discount bandwagon. But why all this price-cutting madness? Well, Tu Li, the brains behind Sino Auto Insights, sums it up pretty well. The overlying sentiment of the Chinese economy is not good, he says. And with too many brands and products crowding the market, it's every car maker for themselves. But these price cuts aren't sitting well with EV owners. Imagine buying a shiny new ride only to watch its price drop faster than a hot potato. Yes, that's the reality for thousands of frustrated car owners who are airing their grievances loud and clear. Complaints are flooding in, with one car quality platform receiving over 6,000 gripes about price changes. And on social media, BYD owners are banding together, demanding answers and compensation. Some even feel like they've been stabbed in the back by the very companies they trusted. Number 3. Software issues. Electric vehicles, unlike their gas-guzzling counterparts, rely heavily on software to keep things running smoothly. From charging up to navigating the streets, it's all about the software. And when EV companies go belly up, it's not just the hardware that suffers, it's the software too. Take WM Motor, for example. They've sold nearly 100,000 vehicles, but since 2023, they've been running out of funds faster than a kid in a candy store. And guess what? Owners have been dealing with a whole bunch of system glitches, according to the grapevine. It's like driving a car with a mind of its own, and not in a good way. But wait, there's more. Enter HiPhi, the luxury brand with all the bells and whistles. Sounds fancy, right? Well, not so much. Despite their expensive features, HiPhi's sales have been about as lively as a snooze fest. In fact, they've barely cracked a few thousand sales a year since 2020. HiPhi's parent company, Human Horizons, hit the brakes in February, leaving owners like Miao Li and Mr. Wang feeling a tad nervous. Miao Li, who splurged on a HiPhi Y-back in 2023, is now driving with extra caution, fearing she won't be able to get her car fixed if things go south. And Mr. Wang? Well, he's resigned to hunting down spare parts online for his pricey HiPhi X. But it's not all doom and gloom. China has rules to ensure that car parts are available for at least a decade, even if a company goes belly up. But let's be real. Enforcing those rules isn't always a walk in the park. And speaking of parks, have you heard about HiPhi's employees hawking products on live streams? It's like a bizarre cooking show meets a car sales pitch. Project directors whip up steaks in the back of SUVs and showcase frozen shrimp cakes. They say it is all in the name of keeping the after-sales services afloat. Number 2. Range anxiety. Now suppose you're cruising around town in your shiny new EV, feeling all eco-friendly and futuristic. Life is good, right? Well, not if you're eyeing a road trip to the Highlands of Scotland. Suddenly, the fear of running out of juice creeps in, and it's not a pretty sight. Most EV owners don't sweat it because they can juice up their rides at home overnight. Easy peasy, right? But not everyone's so lucky. If you live in an apartment block or a cozy urban terrace without a driveway, you're out of luck. And unless you're rolling in a Tesla, those guys have their own charging game, you're at the mercy of the UK's public charging network. And let me tell you, it's a bumpy ride out there. The government boasts about having over 53,000 public charging points. But let's be honest, relying on those can be hit or miss. Now, range anxiety isn't just about the fear of being stranded. It's also a buzzkill for EV sales. I mean, who wants to buy a car if they're constantly worried about finding a charging spot? Number 1. US banned Chinese EVs. China has a compact hatchback that is zippy like a Mini Cooper, but packs a punch with its fast-charging electric engine. It is the Seagull, a sleek ride with a claimed range of up to 250 miles and the ability to juice up from 30% to 80% in just half an hour. And the best part? It's not going to break the bank. In China, you can snag one for around $10,700, making it a steal compared to the hefty price tag slapped on EVs in the US. Even in South America and Europe, where prices are a tad higher, it's still a bargain considering the bang you get for your buck. But you won't find the Seagull cruising down American streets anytime soon. Why? Well, it's tangled up in a web of trade policies that are keeping it out of Uncle Sam's garage. Both the Biden administration and its predecessor, Trump, have been waving the anti-China flag, slapping hefty tariffs on Chinese-made autos to keep them off American soil. Sure, it's meant to protect local industries, but it's also blocking the path for China's EV industry to splash in the U.S. market. While Chinese EV companies are making waves worldwide, selling like hotcakes in Europe, they're hitting a roadblock in the U.S. The demand might be there, but the policies are dampening things. So until Uncle Sam eases up on the import restrictions, people in the U.S. will have to watch from the sidelines as other countries enjoy the sweet deals offered by Chinese EV makers like BYD. It's a classic case of missed opportunities, all because of some trade tug-of-war. Now, here's the thing though. This slowdown doesn't necessarily mean China's EV dream is kaput. It's more like a course correction. The good news is this is a chance for the industry to learn from its mistakes. Companies may focus on innovation instead of just undercutting each other in terms of price. The government may take a peek under the hood of its subsidy programs and make sure they're actually helping the right things grow. A little consolidation will likely happen, shaking out some of the weaker players and leaving the stronger ones with more resources to invest in the future. What do you think about China's EV industry and its future? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe.